Bigfoot takes on Buffalo Trimmer straight ahead on Power Trax. Trax in the nation's only monster truck championship point racing series, the Renegade TNT Monster Truck Challenge outside Buffalo, New York. We are in round number 1, and coming out next is Bennett Clark, the driver of Clydesdale. Bennett, 32 years old, out of Powder Spring, Georgia, and he is taking on the third driver of this truck in the past 12 months. It's Steve Kane and Awesome Kong out of Killeen, Texas.
Well, you know, they say, Rick, the cheapest thing to change on any type of motorsporting vehicle is the driver, and that's exactly what Jeff Dane's doing. He had the right combination last year with his brother driving. Then he switched over to this Steve Kane young man, and I'm impressed with this youngster. He's doing a good job with an awfully good truck. However, Bennett Clark was looking good and took a real bad hop after the first set of cars. That's going to advance Kane with the Awesome Kong Texas Chevrolet.
You know, it almost looks like Bennett Clark is nose heavy at times.
It really does, and it shouldn't be that way because of the long wheelbase. He built a long truck so it would not do that. I don't know what the problem is, Richard.
Well, fans, get ready because we've got another Ford Chevrolet war coming to the line next. It is Dave Wysork in the Chevrolet Nightlife out of Grand Island, Nebraska. 27 years old, been in a monster truck racing now 4 years, and he is taking on Jammin' John Moore, the no-problem Ford driver from Lafayette, Tennessee. John, a veteran at 43 years of age. And keep your eye on Wysork. He's the guy that drives with head hanging out the window.
Yeah, one of the most unique driving styles in the sport. It looks to me, Richard, like it'd be uncomfortable, but he says that it's the way it works for him. He's out. He looks like he's going to advance. No problem. Look at that. Wysork has more covered from the word go. Chevrolet advances over the Ford.
Well, he doesn't advance with no problem. He advances with Nightlife. No problem got beat. I was just kidding around with you there, Army.
Okay, I got this all figured out.
All right. Wysork moves on to the quarterfinals. We're going to move down trackside. Army's got him right now.
Where did you develop that unique driving style? It's one of the big questions we get all the time. Why does he drive with his head out the window?
Well, it's easier for me to see where I'm going down the track. When your truck hits some ramps and goes up in the air, you can't tell where you're going, and it's easier for me to get good eyesight of where I'm going and where to.
How about the truck tonight? Is it feeling okay for you? It's looking awfully good.
Yeah, the truck feels real good. The ramps are a little steep, and everybody's getting a lot of air. It's just trying to keep the truck down low so you can make some speed. But I guess you just got to do what you can. But goodbye.
Well, our next race ought to be a dandy. The mean-looking Andy Brass, the driver of the big, powerful Ford Bigfoot, is going to be taking on the hometown hero, talking about John Kwasniewski, the driver of the Chevrolet Buffalo Trimmer. And you know, the Trimmer driver, Kwasniewski, has a brand-new truck featuring a lighter frame and a much larger motor. And we talked with John earlier today about performing in front of the hometown folks and about this big-looking truck called the Buffalo Trimmer.
John, you're actually playing monster truck racer in an area that you grew up in as a young man, I understand.
Yes, I did. My father used to drag race here in the 1960s and 70s. I used to come with my grandfather. He'd bring me out here every Friday night. My father used to race here. He used to race in double B gas top eliminator. I've been coming here for a long time, and I know basically everything about the track.
Okay, you used to sit on the other side of the grandstand. Now people are paying big bucks to see you run. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel a lot better now. I'm on this side. I used to be on the other side. I like it better on this side.
Let's talk about the monster truck itself. A lot of innovations on the truck. The frame on the truck, can you tell us about that? Can you tell us about the engine combination and why you decided to make a major change in those two areas?
Well, my truck last year, I did some racing last year, and the truck seemed a little bit too heavy. We used to run a steel frame out of a tractor. We switched to an aluminum frame, which is about 1,000 pounds lighter than the frame we used to use. We were running with a 572 cubic inch blown alcohol injected Chevrolet. And the powers there, we got about 1,500 horse. It makes a big difference now from what it used to be last year.
You know, Army, one of Kwasniewski's hobbies is playing ice hockey. But right now it's monster truck racing as they are staged at the line waiting for the green light. And here we go.
Kwasniewski picks on one of the bad boys in the course. Bigfoot working the inside with Andy Brass. Kwasniewski's giving him a good run, Richard.
At the finish line, Andy Brass, by the sweat of his brow, gets the win over the Buffalo Trimmer. But don't be surprised to see Trimmer come back as possibly a fast loser. Let's go trackside with Army and John.
Well, John Kwasniewski out of the Buffalo area, an awfully wild run, but the word we're getting is you may still be in competition. They say you may be able to come back as quick loser.
That's what I just heard. They said I got the fastest losing time.
So that will bring you back?
That will bring me back.
Okay, you're going to be coming back, or you're going to be making any driver changes. The truck looked really out of shape in between the jumps. How are you going to change that?
Yeah, we're going to change a little bit on the starting line. We're going to change the way we're taking off, that's all.
And the quarterfinals are straight ahead. Here's how they're going to pair up. USA 1 will take on the Jersey Outlaw. Carolina Crusher against Buffalo Trimmer. Out here faces Awesome Kong. And Bigfoot will take on Nightlife. We'll be right back with more professional monster truck racing on the Renegade TNT Monster Truck Challenge. Monster Truck Racing, the Renegade TNT Monster Truck Challenge from Lancaster Speedway outside Buffalo, New York, where next is the Jersey Outlaw against the USA 1. You know, we asked Rod Litzow earlier about how his truck has performed lately after a slow start in defense of his National Driving Championship.
Well, we've had some problems this year starting out in that, but basically we've ironed out quite a few. We're just every race we go to, we're trying something different. Hopefully we got everything ironed out now because we have to do some stuff in points. We are standing in the 4th right now, and we are going for #1 spot, so we hopefully have everything solved.
So here's Mike Wine in the Ford against Rod Litzow in the Chevrolet.
Litzow, like you said, he's trying to find handle on this thing, but you can tell by talking with him, he's starting to believe in himself. The Chevrolet name look good. Completely cleared the first set of cars. Look at Litzow. Litzow has definitely found a handle. Richard, he completely cleared the first set of cars.
I'll tell you what, if you don't think Rod Litzow is serious about winning another national championship, let's talk to him.
Rod, working your way through the field of a real tough situation here. The track looks awfully airish out there tonight. Everybody's going straight up.
Yeah, it is. The cars ain't getting hammered down like I thought they would, but later in the race they may start going down a little better. I'm trying to make us clear the last set of cars, but it's going to get faster and faster, and I'm trying to put the trucks in the 6 seconds now.
Well, good news for the Buffalo fans as John Kwasniewski gets to come back as a fast loser. But look who he is facing, the current national championship points leader, Gary Porter and Carolina Crusher.
You can bet one thing, Richard. Porter is not going to take this young man lightly. Just a moment ago when he was bumped out, I'm talking to Buffalo Trimmer, when he was bumped out by Bigfoot, he ran a real quick time. Carolina Crusher knows this kid can do it. He's working real hard to hold on to the lead. Porter going to hang on for a win out of the right. Oh! Boy, this kid was going after it. The ramps are really starting to look spooky out there, Richard Leek.
I'll tell you, the ramps are really pushing these trucks up into the air. And earlier today, we asked Clydesdale driver Bennett Clark about the construction of ramps and how they affect these monster trucks.
Each monster truck driver, the word ramp is probably one of the most important words in his vocabulary. Bennett Clark, tell me why ramps are so important.
Well, ramps are a major part of hitting the cars. Some of the ramps are a little bit steeper, some of them a little bit longer. The longer the ramp on the entrance to the cars, it makes a big difference. When you've got a long section of cars, you want a long ramp where you can jump, you land flatter out in the cars or jump completely over the cars. The steeper the ramp is, you're going to jump, you're going to go up real high in the air, come back down, and land on all 4 tires. You land real hard. You want forward momentum at all times while you're racing.
So basically what we're hearing is the steeper the ramp, the more air you're going to get. You're going to go further out with a longer ramp and further up with a steeper ramp.
Yeah, the longer the ramp, the further you can go. I mean, you can jump. You can make long jumps with a steep ramp, but you're not going to make any time at all.
Well, with real steep ramps, let's give the advantage to the kid, the Flying Texan, Awesome Kong, and Steve Kane. He's known for getting a lot of air as he takes on Wild Hair and Bob Brain, the Chevy out of Missouri.
Both of them rely on Chevrolet horsepower. Uh-oh.
He did.
Chevrolet horsepower caught the Wild Hair. Meanwhile, this kid out of Texas really makes a run. Now, both of these trucks run a rear engine combination. And the word we get on the Wild Hair, he tore a torque converter out of the transmission, Richard.
So not good news for Bob Brain as he is unstrapping and having, it looks like, a few choice words with his brother John. John, of course, the driver of the Mad Dog. Well, Bigfoot is scheduled to race next, and we talked to Andy Brass, the driver of Bigfoot, who has not raced with us so far this year, about making up ground in the points race. Is it possible to come back and win it all?
Well, yeah, I was kind of talking to Scott and some of the guys today, and we'd have to take first at least 10 shows straight just to get, you know, up into the standings a little bit. It'd really be hard, you know, I mean, because everybody else would be doing shows along with us, and like I say, we're 10 shows behind right now.
Of course, Army, there's still a big debate about whether or not Bigfoot is going to continue to run on this circuit. Have you heard any more about that?
No, he hasn't been following the whole point circuit. He did come on the New York Mini Tour, but right now nobody's going to give him anything. Andy Brass is taking it all, and this kid has not lost a touch. Look at this, Richard.
Now, Dave Weissort gets blown away. The Ford blows away the Chevrolet, so Andy Brass will advance into the semifinals. And when we return, it'll be the semifinals. USA 1 against Crusher and Big